Hi, Alexander. Let's take a look at your latest essay here. This is about green energy. Let's see what you said. Some people say that the increasing popularity of renewable power in countries not over the world, but around the world, is beneficial in terms of reducing costs and improving the quality of the environment, while others consider it a danger to the security of the energy. I believe that green energy is mostly beneficial for nations. This essay will analyze both views using examples to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, well done. On the one hand, turning to green energy seems beneficial in terms of reducing costs and improving the quality of air. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, exploitation of renewable sources of power such as windmills, cost less than obtaining and burning coal. Secondly, the burning of carbon creates air pollution. For example, after the government of Albania replaced approximately 30% of coal mines with windmills, yearly expenses of the energy sector dropped by 18%. Moreover, the figure for carbon particles in the air decreased. Therefore, it seems that not only does green energy benefit nature, but it also reduces expenses in countries' energy sectors. All right, I thought that was a good paragraph. It was strong. Your examples were good. You linked them both to the environmental benefits as well as the financial benefits. So it was a nicely developed paragraph. The last sentence here, it had the makings of a great sentence, grammatically really advanced and lovely, but unfortunately had a little bit of a mistake. When you use not only like this, it seems that green energy not only benefits nature, but also reduces. Maybe that would have been okay. I did something else. I used inversion, which they're not really supposed to do unless not only starts the sentence, but you could have said, therefore, not only does green energy benefit nature, but it also reduces, etc., etc. Okay, let's see. With that being said, the negative impact of turning to green energy cannot be overstated. This is because it seems clear that the production of power in such power plants relies on weather conditions. For instance, if some country, I don't really say that if a country decided to replace most of the energy sources with solar panels and the following month struggled with cloudy and rainy weather, it would generate great problems with energy shortages. We don't really say that. It would generate great problems. It would develop great problems. It would develop great problems of. How with this? It would create energy shortages, or it would create an enormous problem um, due to energy. So I'm not really sure. Something about this just doesn't feel terribly natural to me. Um, it would create great energy shortage problems. There you go. That's another way to do it. Hence, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the growing trend of green energy in developed and developing countries could sometimes become detrimental. Okay, that's fine. Notice here that word wants cannot to be what two words. I know it to be both one word and two words, so I guess it's okay. We can ignore that. One thing that I really didn't love was that you had on the one hand here, you didn't have on the other hand here. I like with that being said as an expression generally. I think it works as a great linker. But then you should have had something else here. Remember that on the one hand and on the other hand typically go together. So it does feel a little strange to see one and not the other. You could have done a lot of things. You could have said, in terms of the benefits of green energy, it seems beneficial, etc., etc. So something like that would have been okay. It doesn't always have to be this like firstly, secondly, on the one hand, on the other hand kind of um, expression to begin the paragraph. Okay. All right. So to conclude, I strongly believe that the positive aspects of green energy strongly outweigh the potential drawbacks. It is predicted that more countries will decide to implement renewable energy sources in the future. All right, good. I thought it was nice in general. I thought it was concise. I thought it made sense. was easy to follow. The grammar was appropriate. Vocabulary was fine for the most part. There was just one or two areas that were a little awkward. Let me think. The vocabulary you used was generally speaking good. It was accurate and it was used well. Um, let's see. The growing trend in facilities going detrimental. Okay, I think it's fine. There really wasn't anything terribly high level or uncommon, but the vocabulary that you did use was accurate. So let's keep going. Let's take a look at your task 1 here, the map. Okay, should be 150 words. Remember that it doesn't have to be, but 150 is still a good rule of thumb, even though it's not required anymore. Okay, 168 words, fine. The presented diagrams display the changes the local administration implemented on the island. Overall, numerous houses and facilities became created on land at the expense of at the expanse of trees. Moreover, communication routes connecting various places were built. Okay, let's talk about this. I didn't care for this, the local administration. We do not know who implemented these changes. And so making any sort of a speculation and writing about it is inappropriate. You're only supposed to write about what you see, and we don't know. This could have been completely private initiative. And so we don't want to mention who did it, when they did it, how they did it, okay? Just what you see. And then I didn't care for this the island. That implies that there's only one island around the world. That's not the case. So the presented diagrams display the changes implemented on an island. Okay? Overall, numerous houses and facilities were created at the expense, with an E, of trees. And I wouldn't even have done this, communication routes. I didn't really care for that. I don't know what a communication route is. Let's see what else you could have done. You could have said a lot here in terms of an overview. One that's really common is something like clearly after construction, the island had the infrastructure to accommodate tourism. Okay, that for me would be a very solid overview for this. It doesn't get into any detail, which is what I kind of felt you were doing with like the houses and the facilities and the tour and the travel routes or whatever you called them. Okay, so be careful. I think something like this would have been a more appropriate overview. All right. So the beach on the west remained unchanged. There is a footpath connecting it with the main building in the center of the island. There are new accommodations on both sides of this path. The main building created in the center is surrounded by a vehicle track, which branches off to 3 sites, the pier and 2 other buildings. Okay, so what are you telling me in this paragraph? How have you organized this? You start with the beach, and then from the beach, you say that it goes to the main building, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a mall. There's new accommodations. Okay, so accommodation and accommodation, fine. The main building created is surrounded by a vehicle track, which goes off to the pier and the 2 buildings. Okay, so essentially what you've done is you've covered this whole section of, okay, fine. Let's see what else you said. From the facility created on the north side of the island, a person can go by any vehicle and reach the accommodation area on the east. Okay. The neighborhood is designed circularly with a round footpath at the very center. There has been created an artificial lake. How about you change this? An artificial lake has been created east, or rather to the east. Moreover, a small forest in the northeast remained untouched. On the southern side of the island, a pier has been created for the use of sailors. All right, we don't know who the pier has been created for. It could be for pirates. It could be for tourists. We just don't know. So don't tell us, who it's being used for. When you say sailor, it's like a professional sailor. You know what I mean? Like a person who, I don't know. Okay. So one thing that I liked about this is that you really covered absolutely everything. You didn't leave anything out as far as this is concerned. So let me tell you though, what you did leave out, you really mentioned very little about this. Okay. So it's almost as if the only thing you had here was this aftermap, which is not the case. You had both. And so it's generally a good idea to at least like just minorly mention the before map. I mean, they included it here for a reason. If they didn't want you to talk about it, then they would have just given you the second map and they would have said, okay, describe this map. So the fact that you have two maps means that they wanted you to do something with it. Did you discuss change? Yes, you did. But you really didn't give us an idea of what this image in the before map looked like. And so what you have to do is really not that complicated. You simply have to say that before any construction took place on the island, it was approximately, I don't know, about 200 meters long and 1 meter from north to south. There were trees scattered throughout the north of the island as well as the south central portion of the island. And there was just a beach on the the west side of the island. So that's it. Okay. But like I said, the fact that they've included this information means they want you to do something with it. Okay. And then you could have gone into this. You are actually one of the very, very few people who mentioned the fact that this was built in a circular fashion. Well, that's detail. You could have left it out. You could have kept it. But again, if you ask my personal opinion, I would have rather had something about this before map and a little less about all these footpaths. You don't have to go into so much detail about the footpaths. You simply can say about both the footpaths and the vehicle tracks is that they allow for road passage to different areas of the island or to the different facilities. You don't have to get into so much detail. Okay, so let's see, Alexander. It's your last set. I was happy with your task 2. I thought your task 1 was okay. But you know, there were little things, there were some things that I think you could have done maybe a little differently, but you're definitely on the right track. So let's talk about next steps. The next step is I don't remember if you've told me when your exam is. If you've got a little time, then maybe you'd like to sign up for some more essay corrections. There will be a link in the email showing you how you can do that. So, like I said, if you've got a little bit of time, then definitely take advantage of that so we can continue working together. We can continue giving you feedback and helping you along with your preparation. Okay, but no matter what you decide to do, please let me know. Please let me know if you have determined your IELTS date. I'd like to continue keeping in touch with you, regardless of whether we continue working together or not. So I want to wish you tons and tons of luck. You've really come a long way since your first set of essays, so I want you to feel good about your progress. But if you'd like to continue, like I said, it'll all be in the email, okay? So best of luck. Look forward to hearing from you. Good luck to you.